Now, as we move on, talents, right? So mages have got their talents. They basically just said that their idea is to maintain the core fantasy of each while tidying up existing gameplay through talents such as a reworked Alex Strauss's Fury for Fire, Wintertide for Frost, and Arcane Surge, a new major cooldown for Arcane Mages.
That was good.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, they're making a few baseline changes to spells like Ignite, spreading via Fire Blast instead of Phoenix Flames, and then Flurry, this is quite something. Flurry's now a default insta-cast with a 40-second cooldown and a charge-based design. So I think actually the Flurry change, it works pretty well. But there still is a fair amount of feedback. I think with Mage, I mean, should I get onto the realization that I had on stream? I'm not sure, but broadly what I've heard from Mages is just there's like too many filler talents, placements of things feel a bit odd, that kind of thing. To be honest, that's like a lot of the feedback for quite a few of these, because fundamentally these trees, you have to get them right once, but getting them right once is quite hard.
Yeah, I'm still like developing what I feel about the talent trees, because there's something about them that irks me that's like fundamental, but I kind of like most of them so far. It's just I'm like, is there a better way than this is what I'm thinking? Because there's stuff like having the talent into AoE and you're like, this is such a fucking nothing choice. But there's also times where like there is actually some sort of choice. And I keep falling back to the idea that the talent trees are pretty alright, but the just pick something out of a row system kind of worked better in so many ways that it's like I'm really a little bit not super sold on like the end game part of this stuff. Outside of I think there's a lot more freedom in like creating some builds, but I fall down to the point of like, will it be balanced and will it be nice enough to actually function? There's some of it's like really good because I don't know like the full extent of what the LE stuff or enhancement kind of looks like outside of being pretty cool, but it still is like they have yet to really prove the overall experience of these, even though they're doing generally good work so far. That's what I think, because like I look at the mage stuff and I'm like, well, there's Thermal Void and Icy Propulsion in the middle. I know because I existed through Shadowlands that anyone who takes Ray of Frost and Glacial Spike is probably going to be called a moron.
Yeah. Because
there's no way that isn't like either objectively better or not. So it's that kind of thing where it's like if their balance structure was a little bit better, maybe that would be okay. But they've yet to prove they'll do that.
Yeah, they just fundamentally have the issue of cookie cutters, and this is a problem talents have literally always had.
It's like I don't particularly mind that as a problem. It's just when it kind of masquerades a little bit as choice, like, it's a bit grim. There's so many kids like even, maybe this has changed at 70 as well, but even going through the red stuff, I'm like, I'm giving up so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
To take some cool stuff. I'm like, I would probably rather if you tuned everything down and give us all of this.
Yeah, it's a bit weird where it feels like you're choosing between AoE and single target instead of choosing between sub-specs, which could be like a different flavor of ret that, each one can do both. They're a little bit different. Instead, it's like, do you want AoE set? Single target set. And I think that's one of the main criticisms with ret, as an example. Yeah,
that's like a weird thing to me where there's so much of it's like single target versus not. I would almost rather the trees were very much, here's the progression part that's reasonably linear, and then here's a bigger spread at the end where you kind of pick more prescriptive builds maybe. And then you could maybe do some vaguely crazy stuff. But until I see like, and I guess maybe this is like me not playing around with them enough or not having a way to, actually track my damage because I'm not about to fucking log dummies. Yeah. I've seen people logging dungeons on alpha, and I hope that's just to make sure their builds are doing damage or whatever else. But like until we get add-ons and a DPS meter, I get to see a bunch of stuff that's like, hey, here's a crazy build that probably shouldn't work but does. And then will that be meta and will that be nerfed? Or is that like a little, hey, you figured something out that's cool? It's like, because that's clearly the intent. But will the balance of it all still be able to do that? Because like, obviously been playing mini healer and playing around with talents and going like, I've got a crazy stupid build. That was a really enjoyable experience, but that kind of doesn't exist so much in World of Warcraft for a whole variety of different reasons. That said, like some of the core changes for Mage are really good. Flurry, that's about it really. But Flurry being a little charge system, shifting power, kind of interacting with that in a nice way because it didn't otherwise. Arcane Surge being different and having the little time warp where you basically never run out of mana because you evocate. Yeah, I was on a target on me for 5 minutes without pressing evocate once.
What?
evocation. Yeah, because I think they maybe balanced it a little bit weird.
Wow.
But
I've
it's
not
very,
played
very
a few
strange.
stuff there. Yeah, basically, like, I think we just need to do a little bit more research. We can, before we can properly talk about things. Like the Consecrate rat build is like kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's
There's consecrations everywhere.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? That's like a cool little addition. That's a very nice new like gameplay set. Hey, your Blade of Justice with an Art of War proc drops a consecration. That is an additional consecration to your already dropped one. You press, I think it's Divine Storm, is it, or whatever button it is, does a flare up of damage within your consecrate.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh look, Ret now has DPS, now has actual AOE DPS that isn't just spend all your holy power in Divine Storm and do millions of damage. Same way they have like Path of Ruin, which is Wake of Ashes, but it's on a 15-second cooldown and costs holy power instead of building it. So you've got a little nice rotational change, and that stuff's like pretty nice. But the overall experience of what it's like to play is yet to be proven, because I guess some of it's just that DPS matters. I think a lot of the time it's very, very it's really hard to really put into words. It's like my feelings on them are very complicated at the minute. I don't know if it's better or worse or the same basically in this kind of outcome. Outside of all the stuff like 1 talent tree versus 47 power systems, that's obviously an improvement. That's obviously an improvement, but I meant. So I just had a fucking had a quick memory. So whenever I looked at the protection tree, I got very excited. I thought, holy shit, look at this. You've got this created incredible Avenger Shield big AoE damage build. And then I noticed something when I was tanking Ruby Life builds. They removed the Interrupt and Silence from Avenger Shield.
Yeah, they did.
Thus completely destroying one of the most important parts of playing a Protection Paladin. And basically, I don't even want to play the game anymore.
Yeah, they
it's
have
really
a different design intent with that one, and they have confirmed that it's not a bug.
Oh, it's a bug. No.
Wait, what? No, they've confirmed that it is not a bug.
I'm confused.
Some people thought it was a bug.
Yeah, they said, okay. Confirmed bug, apparently. Oh, Dakor said that's a bug. So it is a bug.
Wait, that doesn't... No, is that it doesn't generate holy power? Is that the thing that's intended?
Oh.
One of those things is intended. Hang on.
Yeah, the HP generation is intended.
Yes,
but
yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
All right, back to playing prop palette, no worries. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Oh my god. That small thing has completely changed everything. And I mean, this changes everything in a genuine way. That was so heartbreaking for me. Thank God that's back.
Yeah. So there's also shaman stuff, but to be honest, I haven't tried any of it. So haven't tried any of it. Have not done any reading on what the shamans are saying. So
me and Dakor were kind of looking at it a little bit, and he said the enhancements. He plays enhancement a little bit as well on live, and he said it looks really, really, really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff in it. I think people have been praising the shaman tree a lot, especially the class tree, for having a whole bunch of really cool returning stuff that you can kind of opt into.
Oh shit, that's nice.
So it seems generally pretty good, all things considered.